Hi everyone, Teddy Baldassarre with TeddyBaldassarre.com, and in this video we're looking at a watch from Omega, a Seamaster model, not the Seamaster Diver 300, the Seamaster 300 Black Dial, the Heritage Edition. So if you're new to this channel, this is where we cover watches available for purchase on our website, TeddyBaldassarre.com, as an authorized dealer. In this video, I'm gonna be handing it off to my colleague, Danny Milton. In this video, he's gonna be going through all the details of this watch, all the backstory on the piece, and everything you need to know if you are looking to purchase it. And if you are, check out the links in the description down below to the product page. Without further ado, hand it off to Danny and have him take a closer look at this Omega Seamaster.
Omega has no shortage of iconic watches in its catalog, some more well-known than others. And while the Speedmaster tends to come up a lot in conversation these days, none is more iconic, I think, than the Seamaster. Today we are looking at a watch that deftly balances history with contemporary capability, the Omega Seamaster 300 in black with a stainless steel case that has been updated and elevated in ways that speak to Omega's aptitude for iteration. We'll take a deep dive into what I think is low-key one of Omega's most compelling current offerings, especially if you're looking for that certain vintage charm in an easy daily wear that offers a state-of-the-art movement that punches way above its weight. To kick things off, let's put the current generation of the Omega Seamaster 300 in its proper context among the broader Seamaster family. The Seamaster name dates back to 1948, but the idea of the Seamaster as a purpose-built dive watch didn't fully take shape until 1957. The same year, Omega debuted its trilogy alongside the Speedmaster and Railmaster. It was that year that the casual, everyday 34mm Seamaster became the dive-ready Seamaster 300. The most popular Seamaster today, however, is the Diver 300M, which you likely know as the Bond Seamaster. It's instantly recognizable by those skeletonized hands, the iconic wave dial, that often divisive helium escape valve, and its new toolish 42mm sizing. And at $5,900 on rubber and $6,200 on bracelet, it remains one of Omega's most popular divers. The Seamaster 300, reference, wait for it, 234.30.41.21.01.001, has somehow gone overlooked against the Diver 300M and even the Planet Ocean, which makes sense given its more vintage appeal. Positioned under Omega's Heritage Collection, it's a modern interpretation of the original 1957 Seamaster 300, though it's important to note that this is not a one-to-one recreation. It leans heavily into vintage aesthetics that are both core to the OG, and also some that are more universal vintage design cues. Despite all that, it features an entirely modern Metas caliber under the hood. While the Seamaster 300 forgoes vintage sizing, it carries over tons of vintage design, just in a contemporary format. It measures 41mm in diameter and 13.7mm thick. That's down from the 14.5mm of the previous generation of the Seamaster Diver 300. That millimeter or so might not sound like much, but on the wrist the difference is immediately noticeable. The watch sits lower, feels more balanced, and loses some of the top heaviness that bothered people in the past. Lug to lug, it's about 47.8mm with our calipers, which makes it great for medium to even slightly smaller wrists. I have a 6 1/4 inch wrist and find this to be exceedingly wearable. There are some visual tricks in the design that bolster the wearability, such as faceted, polished flanks, which deliver a package that wears closer to a traditional 40mm. There are no crown guards on this one, unlike other dive watch offerings from Omega. What we do have is a simple screw-down guardless crown at 3 o'clock with a conical design, true to the original and a great design choice for this watch's vintage-inspired overall package. Because this harkens back to the past, there is no helium escape valve, creating a simpler, more streamlined look. The Seamaster 300 differentiates itself from other dive watches in the Omega catalog due to a combination of brushed and polished finishing, especially on the bracelet. Now, that bracelet does measure 21mm at the lugs, which can somewhat complicate swapping straps, and it tapers down to 16mm at the clasp. As for the finish, it has brushed center links and polished outer links, reversing the finishing of the previous generation and giving less metal surface area for scratches. Oh, and there's also an option to get this model on a vintage-inspired strap if that's your thing. The new layout is less precious and fancy and feels more rugged, capable, and toolish. It's also more in line with its vintage lineage. In terms of the wearing experience, the bracelet is very comfortable and comes equipped with a push-button clasp as well as the ability for about 6mm of expansion, great for changes in the weather. Now let's look up top. In a reversal of more modern trends, the bezel forgoes the use of ceramic in favor of anodized aluminum, something we know all too well from many vintage dive watches. But, of course, it's not just any aluminum. Omega uses a special oxalic anodizing process that hardens the surface to around 500 Vickers, nearly double the hardness of standard aluminum. Sure, it'll scratch more easily than ceramic, but it also develops more character over time. And, again, this watch is all about that vintage theme. Moving inward, the black sandwich dial is a standout. Instead of applied markers, the dial is actually 2 layers. The top one cut away to reveal luminous material beneath. It's cleaner with added dimensionality, and the matte finish adds some really nice texture. You'll find large Arabic numerals at the 3, 6, 9, and 12 positions, and a simple Omega at 12 and Seamaster 300 at 6. And that's it. The no-date format helps maintain perfect symmetry and keeps the design ultra pure. The Lollipop seconds hand is new for this version, replacing the triangular counterweight from the previous model. It's a nod to the prior James Bond Spectre limited edition and looks fantastic in motion. The broad arrow hour and minute hands round out the package with vintage authenticity and perfect lume coverage. Now let's talk about what's on the inside, the Metas certified Omega Caliber 8912. This is essentially a no-date version of the 8900, built with some of the best tech Omega has in its arsenal. And there's a lot to appreciate. We're talking 60 hours of power reserve, twin barrel architecture for more consistent torque delivery, a silicon balance spring for improved shock resistance, the coaxial escapement, a George Daniels innovation that reduces friction and extends service intervals, and 15,000 Gauss worth of magnetic resistance. That's Rolex Milgauss times 15, by the way. But the real story here is the Metas Master Chronometer certification. This goes beyond COSC, or chronometer certification. Metas tests the entire cased watch, not just the movement, across 8 rigorous performance categories. The accuracy spec? 0 to plus 5 seconds per day, fully cased, in multiple positions, under exposure to magnetism. It's one of the highest standards in the industry, and Omega has standardized it across almost all of its catalog. So while this Seamaster 300 leans vintage on the outside, it's cutting edge on the inside. And visually, the movement delivers too, with spiral Geneva waves radiating from the center, beautifully executed anglage, and perlage beneath the rotor. You can see it all through the sapphire caseback, and while decoration might not matter on most divers, here it adds to the daily luxury value proposition. Now we turn to the pros and cons, and as usual we start with the cons. Now, there are very few of them with this watch, and some of them just chalk up to taste and what you might like in a diver. First is probably the brushed and polished surfaces of the bracelet. I think most people these days looking for a diver, and especially a vintage-inspired diver, want something fully brushed just so it can take on the daily rigors that you might put it through if you were to use it as a proper tool watch. And secondly, might be the lack of date function, although this is very much in line with the history of the Seamaster 300. That being said, I can very easily see many buyers looking for a date, which is something you can find on the Diver 300M. In terms of the pros, this delivers in so many ways on what people are looking for in the vintage meets modern department. That extra special kind of aluminum used for the bezel, the 41mm sizing that leans more towards 40mm, and the sandwich dial brings a specialness to this watch that you just don't see on many other divers on the market. Add that to the fact that the original Seamaster 300 is so historically significant, this one kind of fires on all cylinders. So who's this watch for? Well, if you're someone that wants a dive watch that isn't trying too hard, one that brings real vintage charm, modern tech, and versatile everyday elegance, the Black Dial Seamaster 300 is kind of it. It shouts a lot less than the Diver 300M. It's cleaner, more distilled, and in many ways closer to what made Omega a dive watch icon in the first place. The thinner case, upgraded bracelet, and Metas certified 8912 movement make this a thoroughly modern tool watch that doesn't forget its roots. But I'm honestly curious to know what you think of the Seamaster 300. Since 2021, it has been the standard bearer for what a Seamaster 300 is and can be. So tell me, are you more of a Seamaster Diver 300M fan with the helium escape valve? Or does the updated Seamaster 300 tick all the boxes for you in the vintage meets modern department? Let me know in the comments below.
All right, guys, that's all we have for this one. If you did enjoy the review, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Really do appreciate that. I don't just throw that out there. It does help out the channel, so thank you so much for doing so. Also, if you are in the market for the watches featured in this review, they are available on teddybaldassarre.com. Links will be in the description down below. Every purchase from our website comes with quick and fast fulfillment, dedicated customer support, and a full factory warranty for all the products that we offer. In addition, if you have any questions about watches on our site, hit up our team on live chat, that little bubble in the bottom right corner of the website. Those are real people on there. It's not AI. So if you have questions, you have watch enthusiasts ready to help you out with your next purchase. And also, if you're ever in the Cleveland market, please stop into our boutique. We'd love to be able to help you out, whether it's online or in store. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I'll see you all very soon.